Good morning. Your trade plan is your workhorse. You just need to execute it. I'm going to talk a little bit about that today, about how the importance of building a trade plan to make your life a lot easier later on. Hi, my name is Richard Lee. I manage the stockradar.com.au website for you. We focus on catching breakouts and trends with a high conviction approach, managed carefully by our risk management strategy. Sorry about the high volume last week at the start of the video. I was somewhat COVID affected last week, having spent a week in ISO. You probably noticed I was back in the home office last week, but we'll try to keep the music a little bit lower to start off with so you can actually hear what I'm saying. We're all aware the equity markets, especially in the US, are down, while our market has fared better, moving in a range with a low at around 7,000 points. What we want to know is when the stocks are going to start going back up again. In the US, the trend is down with no sign of support yet. Let them fall further and they probably will. The ASX 200 has tentative support at 7,000, which has held up till now, and there's every good reason to think that it might hold considering the falls overseas have yet to drive it down. We know there's been punishing drubbings of many stocks such as Wesfarmers. Surely it must come on the radar at some time. Yes, but when? And I'm going to have a little look at that one later on. There are many quality stocks having price adjustments just like that. Seems savage, but it's real, okay? Without knowing when the market returns to an uptrend, we go about our business of building evidence of support to initially contain the falls and from there begin making an upside case. This will begin occurring on a stock-by-stock basis, and before we know it, the market will have turned up again. Until the support appears, we'll be patient, but there are, as you know, only a few stocks that are moving higher now. We have a low stock pick count, so our pool of opportunities isn't that great at the moment. Pick your targets carefully. They're out there, but just not a lot right now. We're, however, on high alert. So let's go to the markets and have a look. Okay. Elders, energised elders, the bare bones of a trading, and have a little bit of a look at that in trading tactics a bit later on. Excuse me. Firstly, to the markets, the Dow Jones. Okay, not faring so well. I've taken a few lines off here, and I've drawn down here an area that could possibly look for some sort of corrective point. It's a 50% correction level. Plus, we've got the highs back here from about the late part of 2019, and we're stepping down and lower highs, lower lows at the moment. So this is probably where we may well get to. We're still getting some very high volume, and momentum is very weak. So if I was to run a trend intensity on this, it would probably be -10. Okay, let's go to the Nasdaq. It's already corrected about 50% at the run-up since the COVID crash. So it had a huge run. This little COVID crash is made minuscule now, and we're also fearful of it. And we've actually seen a bigger drop since the COVID crash. So this is why it's been quite significant this fall, and it's putting a lot of pressure on a lot of our stocks at the moment. So we have to be a bit of patient. But the Nasdaq at the moment, excuse me, is still looking weak and not going anywhere, but down. Gold, excuse me, is still going sideways in this range, R1, S1, nothing to be told there, the low volume. Copper, similar situation, is taking a pause in the big uptrend. It's just trading sideways and not really telling us where it's going to go next. For the moment, everything is a bit indifferent and a bit flat, so we just have to leave that one go for the moment. Crude is holding up very well indeed. It's actually sort of been rallying the last few weeks, edging higher. Not a huge amount of volume, but momentum is good and it's above the average, so it's still in a solid trend, despite this volatility we've been seeing at the top here at the moment. So Brent crude still looks all right. Okay, excuse me, now to the XJO. Okay, you can see this area around 7,000 that I was talking about before. We've been bounced off it for a couple of times. The US market's been going down, and we've held up remarkably well. This is back towards the old high that we had before. So we're just levitating there. We're just holding, and we're flat here, and not a lot to go on. So we just, while it holds, we have faith at the moment. So that's what the ASX 200 looks like. The stock radar portfolio is down another 3 this week to 29 stock picks of 29 stock picks of 167 stocks, and I've got 3 ETFs of 21 covered. The conservative portfolio has dropped again down to 3 out of 20, a bit of a worry. And the 5-stock portfolio is down to 4 out of 5, and the 7-stock is down to 7 out of 10. So we are losing stock picks at the moment. We're in a protective mode. At the moment, we're focusing on trends with our high conviction, so that's what we're doing at the moment. The sectors are utilities and energy, both doing very well at the moment. The ones that are really looking bad, if you go to the trend intensity picture on the website, you can see health, industrial metals, diversified finance, consumer discretionary, metals and mining, for the most part, and even consumer and commercial services all down the gurgle at the moment and not offering us much at all. Okay, so that's the markets. Our market's holding. We're a bit tentative at the moment. The overseas market's still looking pretty weak. Okay, so let's go to a few stocks now. First off, I want to go to Santos. We haven't looked at this one for a while. Excuse me. It's another energy stock, which has been doing quite well. But Santos has really been dragging the train a bit. It was the last to really to break up here. And really now it's still just struggling to make any headway. The interesting thing is that everything looks positive, i.e. it has made a break, it's above the average, volume is still quite good at the moment, and momentum is still strong. So trend intensity is still +9, so have faith. What we would love to do is to see this high fall at some stage. So we'll just have to be a bit patient and watch this one, but for the moment everything looks okay with Santos, as it does with the other energy stocks we're holding at the moment. Okay, so now I'll I want to go to a couple of stocks that we've seen recently that have had a bit of a drubbing. I did write this up in the newsletter a couple of weeks. National Storage, which has been doing very well for us. But of course, as soon as I wrote the article in the newsletter, down it plummeted, and we've been taken out of this one. We still made a 20% gain on it, but it is interesting that you write something about a stock like this, which is going up, held support, looked like it was moving on higher, and then all of a sudden, bang. So we've always got to watch our backs all the time. So we're actually out of this one very quickly, protect our profit, and move on. Another one that's also had a bit of a drubbing, some of these stocks are just getting killed for whatever reason. It's CSA, you can see there, it tried at 6.30, but all of a sudden we've just seen a high volume dump from 6.30 down to about 4.89 yesterday. So, and momentum's all of a sudden turned negative. So all of a sudden the picture at CSA, which was building at crescendo, has just collapsed. So, and we've seen this on quite a few stocks. So that's what's happening at the moment. It's a bit of fear at the moment. People are a bit nervous about things, so we've just got to be very careful. Okay, I promised you Wesfarmers. Well, let's have a look at it. Wesfarmers is going down. It's in a downtrend. You know, it's been struggling since above $67 up here. We've seen the low, we've seen a new a lower high, a lower low, and a lower high again. So we've got this lower low, lower high situation occurring. We're pushing into here. I just look for these levels to give me an idea as to where we might be, to where we might go. So I'm going to look for some support here. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. But I do notice the volume down here. We had a couple of pretty hefty chunks of buying in both these two rallies here, neither of which really went on anywhere, and all of a sudden we're seeing the sellers just dump on it again. So Wesfarmers still looks pretty bad. Its trend intensity rating is 10. Everything is negative about this stock at the moment, but we'll keep an eye on it. It's come back a long way, and surely it will be an opportunity at some stage. So we're looking for volume and price support to end this downtrend. We had a bit of volume here, but it hasn't held it, so I'm not hopeful at this stage of not seeing lower prices. Okay, so now I just want to go to another little stock which we've been watching a little bit, which I quite like. If you're looking for opportunities, they're far and few between, but Aurizon has been an interesting stock. It's been poo-pooed by a lot of people because of its association with coal, but it does cover other things. And you can see here now we've got a big downtrend here. We've got a big support package through here. We've got through a nice little accumulation pattern here. And now we're starting to get a bit of volume picking up. Momentum's picking up. It's above the average. All I need to do now is to see that trigger thing fall, which is about 405, 406, and then Aurizon will trigger an entry and a trend. So we're looking for this downtrend. We look for the support. Is there an uptrend developing here? Well, we're looking like it possibly could. So we're going to jump on this one if it goes through. That's the opportunity at the moment, Aurizon. That's a little hottie. Okay. What's also been doing well for us has been Worley. It's been a slow burner since its lows down here, but once it broke high, it's just edged higher, edged higher, edged higher. The volume is good. We can see the squeeze down here, unfortunately, which is because we get these big spikes. But the volume's been very good here. Momentum's been good. The average is good. Everything is turned positive for Worley. So it all looks pretty good here, and it's been a very, very, very steady rise and very, very steady man. So that's a very good sign for Worley Parsons for the trend to continue. Trend intensity is +9. Okay, the other one, I talked a little bit about gold over the last few weeks. It's been a bit frustrating, I know, and some of the stocks like we saw Newcrest, Northern Star, didn't really go on. We've got one stock here, Perseus, which has been going on quite well, and it's actually back up towards its highs at the moment. So it's still got a fairly lengthy extensive prevailing uptrend in prices with a few jagged bumps here and there, which have been always difficult to take in the gold market, but this is a stock that's going higher. Trend intensity rating is 7 after this little sideways pattern here, but it may well push higher again. But it's actually been doing quite well with a big demand for Paresis, and the bullish momentum signal is also there as well as it being above the average. So it looks very good, especially when you compare it to one of the other gold stocks, which might be Evolution. One of the ones we nearly jumped on, but you can still see here with Evolution, it's just going down. Sure, we're near support level, sure, but this has been a big thump down. We've got not a huge amount of volume here. This may well hold, but it's certainly not saying it wants to go up at the moment. So you can just see the difference between most of our gold stocks, Evolution, Newcrest, Northern Star. Perseus is a standout, and that's the only one we hold at the moment. Okay, so these are some of the stocks I wanted to go through for you today, just to give you an idea. There are opportunities, there are also stocks getting whacked. So it's a very, very interesting and difficult market at the moment. And you can see on the homepage from my portfolios, this has been really quite a bad period, almost worse than COVID, which has been an interesting. We've had low stock pick count for a while. A lot of potential trends have not continued on, so it's been very difficult. But we just have faith and wait for the market to turn for us. Okay, so that is the stocks I want to go through today. The trading tactics. Okay, let's just quickly into this one here. It's a fairly simple one today. I just want to talk about Elders, which has had a bit of a run. You know, we don't get many agricultural stocks for us to buy because it's quite hard. They're quite tightly held, and often they don't perform very well. So it's been a difficult market to get access to unless you're in private equity or something like that. However, Elders has having a bit of a run. It had a bit of a run last year. It's had this little sideways movement, now going up again. So we're going to have a little look at this one, looking at really at the bare bones of a trade, okay? You built your trade plan, the bare bones of a trade. So what have we done here? You can see what's happened here. We've had a little breakout here, so let's just examine what's going on. Trading tactics, the bare bones of a trade. It's all in the mind. Break through and take control. Be very disciplined about what you do. Okay, take control. It's my little signal up here again. Okay, so Elders, all the hard work is reduced to actioning this. So once we've done our trade plan, I talk about a trade plan a lot, about building it, not just the trading rules, but also the things that surround it, the data universe, the sectors you're going to be in, what market capitalizations you can use. There's a lot of things we do, but once we've got that set, then it's all smooth sailing. So all your hard work is reduced to actioning in this. And when I look at Elders, once I've got the signal, my trade plan tells me what to do. So once it makes a new high, I buy the new high, I set a stop, I then be patient. And if I need to lift a stop, I will. I never lower the stop because I only want to risk a certain amount on the stock. But be patient and you lift your stop, which is what's been happening with Elders at the moment. So that's really is all you do. So your trade plan is the hard part, and this is really the very simple, easy part. It's just a matter of following it properly, okay? So there's a lot of hard work done to get to this stage, but really once you've done it, it's easy. But the outcome that you get should be simple and decisive. Exactly like Elders, it makes a new high, I buy it and I set a stop. It's that easy. That's what your trade plan is for, to make your life easier in the end, okay? So for Elders, we can see it all here. Here's a little break up here. Tick, 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 tick. The time bomb's going off here in this trading range, okay? Eventually it breaks higher, and we go with the break on this one here. We can see volume is a big day on volume, okay? Momentum is very good, and it's above the average. So all our signals are plus 10 at the moment, giving us a green go-ahead. Now, volume's been a little bit different around here. We've seen a couple of pullbacks here on a bit of volume, but the buying has so far held it, and I'm going to guess again we're in for a shortage of stock situation, because this is going up very easily on very little buying at the moment, okay? So that's just Elders, and I've just added in the indicators, but really, just going back to the simple price chart, you can just see the breakout there. You know, we can just wait and wait and wait for this to be resolved, and once it is resolved, we buy it and the breakout goes on. So that's exactly what happens with Elders, and that's how simply we try and make these things. Okay, so that's all I've got for you today. There's a newsletter that's going to be out next week. Got lots of information in there for you. Look at some consumer discretionary stocks and talk about a couple of other things in the market. The hard work is building your trade plan, okay? The rest is easy. You just execute the trade plan, okay? I have a trade plan you can use, you can monitor. So you can follow what I do, or you can modify it to suit your own profile. A lot of people do that sort of thing. They want to modify it for whatever reason. Stop levels, entry, exits, whatever it is. But the main ingredients of a trade plan are all within Stockradar and within the Trading Centre. Okay, remember the stock market is a very simple place if we let it be. Don't get too overburdened by too many things. Stay safe, watch your trends, hedge your stops, and I'll see you all next week. Thanks a lot.